account that I've had there. On top of that, my win rate is over 85% over the last 30 days. I want to show you, I think a big part of that is thanks to this indicator that we've built. So Evan, Randy, let's get into this, boys. We've got some good trades to talk about. Before, though, we jump into that, we crossed 415 reviews, everybody. We're at now 416 reviews, 4.9 stars. I want to give a quick shout out to just two of the recent ones. Angel in the Black Shirt Club just took his first payout after working with us. We love to see that. Big shout out to Angel. And same thing for Jesper. He spent 3 months with us, and he said there is literally nothing better than spending the months with us as far as providing a strong and coherent ecosystem, combining coaching, live streaming, and an active Discord for a fully immersive day trading learning experience. That's such a professional sounding review. I love it. So Jesper and Angel, big shout out to you guys. Boys, you want to talk for a second about why we decided to build this indicator before we get into it? Evan, any thoughts on, like, for you, where this is going to make a big difference?
Yeah, I think for me, at least on the stream, predominantly looking at NQ and you guys watching ES, I'm kind of like the voice of telling you what's happening on the NQ chart, and then maybe someone else will scream over what they're seeing on YM, but just like we don't need to jump between charts. We can see where price is in relation to its VWAPs while still watching the asset that you're looking to trade itself, and just not confuse yourself by jumping around. It's almost like I looked at it as when you had so many pairs you could trade in the past, like you would be flipping around charts all the time. You kind of forget where you're at and where you were locked in at. So I think it just makes things simpler.
And Randy, what do you think?
I'm going to lean exactly into what Evan said, you know, between the three of us. And then when we do have James Bruce on, he trades YM, having that view of all three of the indices and seeing price trending, or if we have mixed price and what's going on. Because for me, I have multiple charts and multiple monitors, but not everybody has that option. And I think just having that clarity of seeing it all in one place lets you focus on what you're doing, and that's trading, instead of managing multiple charts and looking and seeing what's going on. So I think just seeing across the three indices what's going on, or three tickers, or whatever option you choose to have selected, I think that's, for me, is just a lot more clarity and the bigger picture of kind of what's going on across the markets.
And somebody asked this morning on stream, can we put gold in there? Absolutely. The ticker is fully customizable, so you can look at either one, two, or all three assets of whatever you're choosing. It's really up to you. So the indicator, I would just say quickly, everybody, is broken down into like two chunks, okay? You have the matrix or the dashboard here on screen that's going to sit on the bottom of your screen or the top of your screen on TradingView. That's showing you where we are in relation to all the key VWAPs and to price as far as trend. You're going to get a read on trend. You're going to get a read on the opening range. You're going to get a read on the key VWAPs. But we also have volume profiles built into this indicator, so you can see previous week and previous day value areas and point of control, as well as just plain key levels like market highs and lows, all-time high VWAP, things like that, that can also probably play into a lot of the analysis that you guys are doing. So I want to show you a couple of trades that we've taken using the indicator in just the last few days. Let's start with, nothing better than today, right? So we waited this morning. We wanted longs, Evan, if you remember, initially as we broke above that overnight VWAP. But with trend not strong up at that time, it was mixed, and we were still trading inside the opening range. The indicator was telling us to hold off. So we waited and then finally took our entry about 10 minutes later. And as you can see, everybody, straight profit on this trade. Now, no guarantees every trade is going to be like this. I don't want it to seem like that at all. But this was a beautiful pain-free move. You see the nut of the move that we always look for. But it was really fed by the indicator. I mean, for you guys, Evan and Randy, both of you did not take this trade this morning. What made you stay out of it? Do you think you should have been trusting the indicator more?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, you see NQ had it at that point already broken outside of its opening range. So the way I think you should have used it, and I kind of fed it to you on stream of like, NQ already broke outside its opening range. It's pretty telling that buyers are already in control. I know ES here, the trade you took, hasn't yet, but you almost could feel like it definitely would want to as well, since it's a little bit lagging behind NQ. And then you find this nice long, and you see this first break of opening range run pretty nicely. You could just see it's probably because YM's bullish and Q as well. Like, there's nothing to really drag this thing back down.
100%. Randy?
I actually took the trade.
Oh, you did?
I took it with you, and I just saw NQ, ES, and YM now above their New York VWAPs, giving me that alignment, and that just had me get in. And we had a previous week's value area low above us as a target that we traded into in the overnight session, and we see that we traded up into there, held it. So I was looking for a move back up to that level, and I just, again, looking at the indicator, having that instant, okay, we're above the New York VWAPs on the 3. I want to get in this long. I'm good. I'm going to take this long. And then, as you'll see in some of the other trades, you get that confirmation along the indices that price is trending in the direction that you want to trade, and just, makes it, like I said, it paints that clear picture for you of what's going on.
I mean, today too, you see at market open, we pin this previous day value area level. That's another level that we've really liked being long above that. So I think that fed the longs here as well. So once you get above that value area level, price was above overnight VWAP and the New York VWAP, everything was saying you really needed to be long today. Now, I made the joke, if you didn't make money long today, you should cut your hands off. It's not always as easy as today, but the indicator has really made a difference. This was my trading yesterday. I had 3 scalps in the afternoon, one from 55 into 63, then from 41 into 51, and then the last one was from 40 into 56. I really felt like yesterday I was in the pocket, but in the pocket using the indicator to stay on the right side of the market. It doesn't tell you when to click buy, when to click sell, right? I'm buying those dips, trading off of those key levels as we pull back off of, as you can see here, key VWAPs. But like the indicator made it so I didn't think, should I be short now? Should I flip my bias? And I think that's the big saver for me. That was what I said on stream this morning. This was last week, very similar looking trade here to this one, right? We're looking for that strong New York VWAP take, strong confirmation on the indicator at the bottom that the trend is higher. And you can see here, again, Randy, right where we got out, opening range high, it ended up being a really good exit because there's multiple trades in this. So when the indicator is telling us to be long, we make money long. How easy do you think it is to then come in here and look for more longs? Super easy. You're not having to question, should I be long? Should I be short? Or should I be flat? That's, I think, the best way to, when people say, why do I want this indicator? It makes the decisions less. So you're less confused, less worried if you're on the right side of the market. This is the last example that I have. Clearly bullish here on the indicator at the bottom. Everything was outside opening range. We broke it here initially, so that we traded long here off the bounce, coming right back out of that range from 51 into 64. And this was one of the trades I really liked too, Randy, because we used the value area level as the target. And then once it was broken here, there was more trades long as the day went on. So you can kind of stop asking yourself, is it too high? Should I not be buying it this high? Well, depends on where we are, not just in relation to the VWAPs, but also value area levels, which when you buy the indicator, everyone, you'll get a tutorial video that's going to show you exactly how to set this up and use it. So Randy, you want to talk to us about these 2 trades here? You have a winning long trade here, and then you have a short trade here that looks like it's also a winner.
Yeah, so let's go over the short. Same thing again, or let's go over the short. Same thing again. You can see we're below the VWAPs. The indicator is clearly telling me we're below the VWAPs. Now, the way I like to use these value area levels and previous day's point of control, I like to trade to these levels. And as you can see in this short, I don't look for, an extensive move or anything. I just look to trade down to that level. I'd like to trail my stop aggressively when we approach that level. And clearly here I get stopped out. And if I had another picture, we could zoom out, price actually bounced here. So knowing that ability, like here's a key level, I'm not looking for a massive slide down. I'm just looking to trade this from level to level, from basically VWAP or a value area or point of control to the next VWAP or value area and point of control. And I think having all that on the chart just very simplifies it for me. Where do I need to see my exit? Where do I need to get out of this trade? We're in a strong downtrend. Clearly this strong downtrend breaks here at the value area low. So again, I just like to trade level to level. And this is really how I'm focusing on using the indicator and how it just makes things clear. Again, here we have everything green in the dashboard. We got a strong uptrend. We're above the New York VWAP, the things I look at. Again, now we have value area above. We are trading above. And I also use, Austin and Evan don't use it, but I use previous week's value area, which is a bit bigger of a picture of what went on last week. And that you'll see in the orange, it's very faint because I don't have a ton of weight on it, but it's something I like to know in the big picture. Previous week's point of control, previous week's value area high. And one thing I noticed when you have value areas stacked with point of controls or previous week's value areas, you could see a strong move up in that direction. So what did I do? I entered this trade. I entered a little late because I wanted the overnight VWAP to be broken. Once it was broken and we had that strong upside, I took it and I just traded it to the next level. And I got out at that level. And then just like Austin's trade, there was a pullback and then there would have been a second trade right there.
100%.
So it just paints a clearer picture of, entries, exits, how to manage the trade instead of just hoping, like we say in the trading game, we're going to go take this or do this, right? So
right. Okay, Ev, what do you got for this one?
Yeah, so I mean, clearly you could see full view up alignment. That I do just want to say it again, that not only like would you get the dashboard, but it's going to paint these levels that Randy's talking about of the previous day's POC and value area, as well as all the VWAPs. So like there's no anchoring that you have to do to make sure it's on the right candle. All the VWAPs are just going to paint automatically. But this one you can see full view up alignment. Now, I traded on ES. Normally I'm maybe trading more so NQ on stream. That we already had buyers in control above the New York view up on NQ, but a little bit too strongly that it's like kind of close to its opening range high, which just don't love the risk reward of that. But then I could see on ES, it still hadn't taken its New York VWAP back, the blue one here. So if buyers can take control of this one, I already know NQ has buyers, YM's moving higher. I'm going to get in long and just follow the train of that. That's why I chose to trade ES this day, knowing that buyers were in control above all the key VWAPs and then just trading it from mid-range to top of range.
It's clean. So I think you guys get a good idea here of what we're looking for. If you want to trade with us, we're on ASFX TV every single day. And if you buy the indicator, or if you're just a new customer in general, you get your first month of ASFX TV for free. So grab the indicator. I'll put a link below. It's asfx.biz/indicator. Super easy. You can also click the link in my bio. Randy and Evan also have it in their bio. We're totally here for you guys 100% of the way. Like I said at the beginning of the video, indicators are not going to make you profitable alone, but they're going to help you, as you can see from what we just showed you. You're going to streamline the analysis. That's the best way to describe it. Less thinking, more focus on just executing at the right moment. So hit the links below, check those out. And again, join us on ASFX TV for free. We'll show you how we are trading with the indicator every single day on the live stream. So boys, thank you very much. Traders, happy trading. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you in the next video.
Don't watch this video unless you want to learn how to trade with the VWAP the right way. What's up, traders? My name's Randy. I'm back at making these videos on YouTube. I've been spending a lot of time on Instagram creating content, and I thought I would just get back to YouTube and get back to you guys. I know I've had a lot of questions. Where has my content been on YouTube? So here we are. Big exciting news. We have just dropped the new BTC indicator, VWAP trading concepts. This was developed by us at ASFX, and it basically helps give a clearer picture of what's going across the markets and how we use VWAP, opening range, and volume profile to trade daily. Now, I'll get into my trades. I'll get into how the indicator works, how I specifically use it, even though Austin uses it a little bit differently and Evan uses it a little bit differently. The best way to learn about the indicator is to just come watch us stream live every morning. First month is free. The link is in the bio. We use the indicator all day. You'll see how we trade with it, the three of us, how we use it differently. So definitely check that out and then look into the indicator. Let's get into what I'm trading right now and how I am trading. So for this past 2 weeks, since we've launched the indicator, I started a brand new set of 50K instant funded accounts with Top 1 Futures. I have 3 of them. I'm copy trading them on TradeZella. And as you can see, I've been trading really, really well. And I'm super stoked about it. 100% win rate, 100% daily win rate. And then the average win-loss is pretty even. So I'm a negative R trader, but I'm taking profits a little aggressively. And then I'm having some days where I have a bit more of a move that I can hold into. But as you can see, this is multiplied to include all 3 accounts. So 3 trades is actually 1 trade. But base hits, small day, big green, small green, big green, small green, small green. But again, that is only, 6 trading days I've had in these accounts. I'm 50% to the profit target. I'm just over $1,500 in each account with a $3,000 profit target. Now, what am I doing well? Well, I'm reading the market well. What's really helping me? This indicator is helping me quite a bit. This is the new indicator that we dropped. VWAP Trading Simplified. Very easy, super cool. It's called the VTC indicator, and it's basically a dashboard, and it's VWAPs combined with opening range and volume profile. And as you can see, this is what it looks like. And as we get into it, it's one system for everything you need. All the levels that matter are automatically now printed on your screen. So previously, I was having to go and put my previous day's point of control, my volume profile, mark out highs and lows, previous days, highs and lows, and then have my VWAP set, and then having to anchor VWAPs at certain critical times of the day. With this indicator, you have all the automatic VWAPs. You have New York, previous day, daily VWAP, high day VWAP, low day VWAP, all the VWAPs that you need, and you can toggle them on and off. That's the beauty of this indicator. It comes jam-packed with features, but it's completely up to you to toggle on what you want and what you like to trade with to have a clear picture of what you want to see in the markets. We have all the levels covered. High of day, previous high day, Asia high, London highs, all the levels are covered. Again, you can toggle these on and off. And then the third thing we added, which I really like, is volume profile. You have the ability to have previous day's volume profile and previous week's volume profile. And as we get into some of the trades, you'll see how I use them to trade, to either enter or exit, or just have an idea of a direction in the market. And it's just beautiful the way this is laid out. And what I like about it is having these tickers right here that you can trade across multiple assets. You can have up to 3 tickers, and you can be looking at what's going in the market across 3 tickers, which is very helpful, especially for me trading futures. So I'll have NQ, ES, and YM up at all time, even though I just exclusively trade ES. Right now, this is going to end literally in the next few days, but we're offering a special promo where you can get it yearly for $750 instead of $1,000. After that, it's strictly going to be monthly, and it's going to be $100 a month. So I'll get into the trades. I'll break it down how I'm using it. Hopefully you'll take it away from this. But like I said in the beginning, you join us live on stream every morning. The first month is free for that, and you'll see us trading it in real time. And I think that is the best way to learn how to use this indicator. The link for that will be below in the bio. Let's get into some of the trades from last week. So here's a trade from yesterday that I took. And as you can see, this is MES or ES opens, and it's a little bit choppy. You can't pick a direction. We're above and below the New York VWAP. We have the indicator dashboard down here below in the left-hand side, and you can move this anywhere on your chart. It's the beauty of it. Wherever you want to have a clear picture, this can be moved to anywhere on the chart. And why I entered on this trade was, as you can see down here, I have ES, NQ, and YM. Obviously the micros, because I trade micros, but you could have on the minis, completely up to you. NQ was holding its New York VWAP nicely, and I didn't have to look at another chart. I didn't have to open something, flip over to my other monitor to have something open to have an idea what was going on. I can just look down here clearly and see where these 3 indices are in relation to their key VWAPs, in relation to the opening range, and then where the trend is forming. So for me, NQ is holding its New York VWAP. Even though ES is choppy, I enter long. We have orders on Bookmap, which is another tool I use, but they line up with previous day's point of control, which is this green line at 68.80. Now, what that's telling me is this is a key level that the indicator has marked for me that I used to mark manually every single day. We have orders sitting in here, so there's a confluence. NQ is holding its New York VWAP. NQ is the stronger of the 3 indices today. So I'm going to look to long it, and I'm going to look just to long it to this level. That's it. I'm not trying to look for a bigger move up or anything crazy. Enter the trade. This thing comes up right where I want to take profits. I get out. I'm done for the day. Base hit. Beautiful trade on Friday using the New York VWAP and using volume profile. Very easy. And then using it across the 3 indices. We'll get into another trade I took. This trade I took, I believe, on the 24th. Again, another long. And as you can see here, the trend is clear. We're going to be outside of the opening range by the time I exit this trade. And I look to get out at the break of the opening range as we just get a break and retest. Again, base hits. Previous week's point of control is this orange dotted line that I'm looking at price to react to. We get to it. I look to get out of the trade. Base hits. I'm done. Again, trading level to level, VWAP to a level. Let's look at another trade. This was a very interesting trade, actually. There was multiple people this day that got caught in this chop and we're either trying to go short, long, short, long. Again, the indicator and watching this indicator and what it was doing really helped me stay in this trade. Even though we're below the New York VWAP here on MES, NQ was still above its New York VWAP and above its opening range, which to me is signaling NQ to be very strong. So I have the overnight, the daily VWAP below me here and opening range below me. I look at these 2 levels as my stop to be below here. We sit and chop around in this trade. We get back above the New York VWAP. This thing comes up to some orders at 69.50 that I had on Bookmap. We take those orders. I'm out of the trade. Again, another base hit. And like I said, in these accounts, 6 days trading, I have not had a red day yet. I have not had a red trade yet. Let's get into one more. This is a short. Now, this is another idea. Again, just looking at the indicator down here, you can see clearly We're in a strong downtrend. If you look at the trend, we're outside of the opening range on all three assets. I don't got to flip between charts. And we are below the New York VWAP, overnight VWAP, previous day's New York VWAP on all three. The only ones we're not below are the lower day VWAP on all three. So I look at a rejection of this -1 deviation band of the overnight VWAP. And again, you have the ability to turn and toggle all these VWAPs on and off and choose as you please. And as if you come to stream and you watch us trade, Evan will only literally trade New York VWAP and overnight VWAP. He doesn't look at the bands. He doesn't look at this, which works for him. And for me, I like to trade with all the VWAPs. Again, we have a volume profile, previous week's value area low. We find some support down here. We come up, we break down below it. I enter short. We break this lower day VWAP and this thing sinks over down to the lows. I'm out here. I'm good with it. Price could stall. We could be forming a higher low here. So again, base hits. Like I said, I'm 6 days trading, 50% of profit. If I had another, perfect run and went 6 days, that's 2 weeks that I got these 50K instant funded accounts over the line to a payout. So just again, looking at the dashboard and having a clear understanding of what is going on. And then the last trade, for people that trade Asia, again, this is why I like the dashboard. It's just very simple to see what's going on. Obviously, there's no New York VWAP. There's no previous day's New York VWAP. I'm just looking at the overnight, the lower day, and high day. Again, I'm looking at levels, and this blue line is going to be a value area high or value area low. Clearly, we're trading under it. We have a previous week's value area, and as we trade through it, again, I look at the indicator. We're starting to form a strong downtrend. We're below all the overnight VWAPs. I'm going to take this short. Here's previous day's point of control, this green line. I know where I want to exit the trade. I know my levels. Price could bounce here easily. I close there. I'm up in an XFA, $335. So you can see how I'm trading with the indicator and how it's working for me. If this is something you're interested in, definitely check out, put the link in the bio for the indicator. Come check us out on stream. Like I said, first month free. Link is in the bio. And I hope to see you there.
I want to show you the only indicator that you're going to need in 2026 for trading futures, and it's going to be this automated VWAP and dashboard. And I want to walk you through step by step on how I'm using it on the day-to-day. Even just this week, you'll get all the VWAPs automatically painted for you. You could check off plenty of options. I don't have them even all turned on. But the most important thing is getting this dashboard on the bottom right, and you can move it wherever you want. But you'll be able to see who's in control across 3 different assets in comparison to their VWAP. So I have ES, NQ, and YM. But another thing to talk about is when you open up the settings, and we'll get into how we use it in just a second, you can see there's a start of week VWAP, a last week, start of month, start of year, all these different options that you can have on should you choose, as well as the initial balance. I have on the opening range. You can mark off key levels like yesterday's high and low, all-time high, Asia high and low, London high and low, whatever you want. But you definitely do not need all of them. It's about finding which one's right for your trading. And if you want to copy mine are very simple. You can screenshot the ones down here. I am adding the previous day's value area levels, so the value area high, as well as the previous day's POC. You could also even do previous weeks, as you can see here in the middle. Plenty of different options. Play with them a little bit, but I want to show you how I'm using mine here on the 1 minute. So we're looking at ES. This is the first 15 minutes I've rewinded it to. This is what it looks like, and you'll see the dashboard change in real time. That the opening range is now set. If you've seen me trade on stream on AceFX TV every morning, we're not going to chase the first break, and we're not going to take a trade within those first 15 minutes. It just often doesn't present a clean setup. So we're going to let that thing do what it wants. It breaks for a new high day outside the opening range, and then it pulls back to a couple of VWAPs. So the light blue one is the previous day's 9:30 New York Open. The blue one is from today's 9:30, and that black one is the daily VWAP from the previous day's 6 p.m. Eastern. You can see it all down here on the dashboard. So now we're back below the blue one, right? You see the dashboard changing the dots in real time. Now we get below this blue one, which is the New York and the overnight. So sellers are in control. I might jump into a short here because now we have full VWAP alignment to the downside, right? We're now back below these 3 VWAPs. But if you look at NQ, it's still trying to hold its previous day's New York VWAP and overnight VWAP that we just go 1 more minute, and we're now, NQ still has buyers in control. So it's not fully bearish across the market. YM, I will preface, is my least heavily weighted asset. I'm not really getting too persuaded by that. I'm just going to look at ES and NQ. Whatever I'm trading, I can see the other asset down here on the dashboard that buyers are still trying to hold in on NQ. I don't know if I love the shorts yet because we're still also holding this previous day's POC and above the value area low. So I get that we're on the right side of VWAPs, but let me just give it another minute and see who wants to hold this control. And you see we get back above a couple of the VWAPs, still kind of choppy, but NQ was kind of leading the boat here of being very, very bullish, all buyers in control, and ES is not. But I'm not going to jump into a short with NQ looking so bullish over there. So we're waiting for either the longs to present here on ES, or I would say you can go over to NQ and trade it over there. But nonetheless, you wait for buyers to step back in like it's showing on NQ. Already have them. So we get a break above New York VWAP, overnight VWAP, and the previous day's 930, right? Stop loss at that value very low. Let's see if we can go make a new high today. I mean, you see the dashboard now. Buyers are in above every single VWAP. We're outside of the range. This is now also the second break outside the open range high I mentioned in the beginning of the video. I don't chase the first one. The whole strategy is about pullbacks to VWAP, trade the trend continuation. Trend seems to be very bullish today. You can see everything is strong up and green down here. So let's see what wants to happen. We get above VWAPs. We're still respecting. Buyers are in. It was telling us buyers were in on NQ. So it was a matter of let's see if NQ can get a little bit more bearish. Then we'll maybe also short it with ES looking bearish. But it wasn't really looking bearish. NQ was holding up buyers. Nothing was telling you to sell it yet. So you stay patient. Clean long over there, just watching NQ kind of lead the pack, like I'm saying. And it moves for a new high. That was on Tuesday of this week. Now let's go rewind it and see how we could have played it on the very same Wednesday the next day. So we'll only do the New York session, of course, but you could trade it with London session, whatever you want. You see all those different things you can click on and off. So let's go back to 9:30 to like 9:45 when the opening range is setting, right? That's what we did in the last example. So you'll see here we're above the black overnight VWAP and we're above today's New York. Okay, so a little bit more bullish. The day prior was bullish. Keep that in mind as well. Now let's get that first break of opening range. First break of open range is to the upside. Not going to chase it, but it's telling me buyers are in control. So if we can get a pullback to VWAP just like we did the other day, I might want to long this. Well, there's our pullback. Let's see if buyers can defend it though, right? Another key example maybe. Look how green NQ is, still holding buyers above every VWAP. But ES, you see potentially taking its New York right now. Let's give it another minute. All right, it holds it. Maybe this is our higher low. We're going to hold this VWAP stop loss at the low of opening range low. Let's see if we can go trade back up. If this were to move back higher, you'd want to be in that. That's what I teach in Futures 2.0 on ASFX TV. This is the strategy. Not chasing the first break, getting a retest off VWAP, go trade back into the highs. Now, I know what happens on this day, but let's just play it forward. It comes back down below VWAP. But notice NQ on the dashboard again hasn't really changed. Still holding buyers, showing strength. So I'm certainly not flipping to a short here. If you were somehow in the long, I would not flip to a short because you're also above this daily VWAP. Don't want to fight that. And NQ is still holding a bullish. All right, so let me just sit through this. We haven't gotten a new low a day yet. Let's see if buyers can hold in. They give you a chance. It barely holds in. Oh, it went too fast. It comes back to break even and just sweeps you out here at the opening range low. Regardless, NQ is still holding bullish. This thing just can't make a new high yet. So the one thing I would say is definitely still don't go short when you're above this black overnight VWAP. It's very rangy today. The New York VWAP is flat, but it's still telling you there's more buyers than sellers. But the buyers are just struggling, but as are the sellers. You can see there's really no new low of day, just this pin. So I'm not going to long it here. I made a video about this day as well, because you still are making these lower highs on top that you run the risk of another push down immediately when you buy it. But you could see on the dashboard here, buyers are fully in. So if you did buy it, I wouldn't blame you. It's strong trend up now, full view up alignment to the upside. Can't blame you if you do want to long it. Maybe you're just now scarred because you took the loss. Who knows? We get a new high and a retest to VWAP now, but sellers don't take that control, right? Like I'm saying back here, every time buyers got above, sellers stepped right back in. Same thing back here, but sellers don't just step back in here. Buyers actually defend it, so maybe that is the safer time to long it because now we have buyers in across the board, and that's the time you get that finally a push for a new high a day. I knew I wanted to be a buyer, just ideally not choppy for 5 hours, 2 hours, whatever the case is. So I think you want to stick on the right side of VWAP and where are the buyers? It's definitely them in control. They're just not really moving us higher. So you either got to be really patient with it. We had a couple people actually long it with a wide stop below the overnight VWAP and did hold that. But I'm saying if you did get stopped out here, you wouldn't want to short it. You just have to long it again. And sometimes you got to try twice. But hopefully you don't lose twice by going long and then going short. So you can see another day of just fully buyers taking back control. And when it's at a new high of day, now, of course, it looks bullish, but how do I get in before it's screaming all longs. I want to be already in. Well, hopefully you're picking that up today in this video. So this was on Wednesday. Let's go to Thursday. We did Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday was just a ginormous bearish slide, something like we had on this Thursday. So we might not even need to go over this. It was clearly sellers. I think anyone could see it's sellers, but let's just, for fun, let's see what happens. So sellers in control out of the gate, huh? Above or below every single VWAP, slicing everything lower. Yeah, you want to be a seller. I don't think we need any more information on that, but we get a pullback to VWAP. All right, finally. YM's actually holding up bullish here, surprisingly, but I'm not trading that. I'm trading ES or NQ. Those are my two options. Then we get a pullback to VWAP. I mean, I don't know how I would be a buyer with this many sellers just across the board today for an hour and a half, 2 hours they've been in control. I'm not concerned with 2 minutes breaking above VWAP, but regardless, you get a pullback to VWAP. It's clearly been sellers in control. You can see the dashboard on NQ and ES, which are driving the boat for my decisions. It's full of sellers. All right, we're at VWAP. It's all sellers today. Let's sell this thing back down. Looking for a little scalp because this thing's a ginormous move. You need to try to trade it for 1R, a little base hit. Just get back to the low, whatever wants to happen, and you're out. Go on with your day. Sellers were clearly in control. Did you think we were going to break above VWAP and go for a new high of day? No. And now you look at YM in real time. It's also breaking back bearish because it's clearly sellers in control. So I think you want to simplify your trading, right? It's not going to be telling you exactly when to get in. You still want to use your VWAPs for that because we will still want to play retests, get a good pullback level, not be shorting it, like let's say over here away from VWAPs. We want to get in before the bounces, right? Somehow over here, catch the new low, catch the new low, things like that. So hopefully you guys found value in that. Like I said, there's plenty of options in the settings for you guys to play with, but simplify your trading. Don't need to click on all the settings. The dashboard here, even I have the low of day and high of day view up on. If you're not concerned about those, take them off. Slim down that checklist because on a low of day break, high of day break, maybe you already have the confidence and you're clear on the direction of trend. Keep it simple. 3 of the dots down there and you're good to go. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to learn more about it, I'll be trading live with it every single day on ASFX TV. You also head over to here to asfx.biz/indicators and check it out. There's a tutorial video once you get access to this. I'm more so the settings. I just showed you how I use it, but you'll get a video tutorial on how to fix the settings and all that good stuff. But come read about it. You saw a little bit here on this video, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow morning. We'll be trading it all week long. Like I said, your first month's free. Just click the link down below and use code FIRST, and I'll see you guys in there.
You got to remember, the reason you started to learn was not because you were so interested in candlesticks. That's not why you got into trading. You got into trading to make money so you could not look at a computer all day. The thing that really people need to just get is like, you're not going to really crack the code. You need to be like a fisher. You're going out there, you're hopefully going to catch your fish, and then you move on.
Crypto almost messed up everybody's mind. I'm just saying it's made everybody like think you have to 10x every investment, every trade. Everything's got to be big, big, big. And then I get DMs once a week. I'm coming over to the negative RR. I'm done with big RR.
So I have this, pretty much a scalping little, I call it ICT, Ike's candlestick theory, right? So, you see people online talking about how like, oh, you got to be locked in, this, that, perfect. It's like, bro, you're just trading. You're pressing buy, sell. You're trying to scalp a couple points. You're moving on. It's not that serious. It's really not.
Ike, what's up, buddy? Good to have you on the show.
Hey,
welcome to the
great to be here.
Dude, it's I feel like a long time overdue since our last conversation. I know both of us had a lot of changes. Oh, here's I just got the text of all the snow. Yeah, dude, that's enough, bro. That's enough.
You see the dog running around there?
Oh my God, bro. So you're buried right now, and you hear they're saying there's another storm coming next week.
I know. I'm not even listening. I'm like, this must be old news. It must be from last week.
We're definitely at the age now where like anything past 6 inches is just okay. That's enough.
Yeah.
And I know you can make a bunch of dick jokes there, everybody. Have at it in your mind. Okay, we're here for a serious podcast, so hold it together for me. But everybody, I've really been looking forward to this because I wanted Ike to come on, especially with all the Twitter bullshit, bro. Just so much bullshit. And I want to talk about negative risk reward in particular, because now you have kind of you have the license plate, as we all know if you follow Ike on Twitter, but you've kind of taken the lead on this conversation a little bit, bro. So let's get there. But before we get there, let's talk some prop stuff. Catch everybody up, man. What's been good? I mean, I know you are constantly making content, and we haven't spoken, but I've seen the content. You crushed it as gold has been ripping. So give everybody maybe a quick update on how trading has been for the last 3-6 months for you.
Yeah, for me, it's really because scalping, because I'm in and out, it really hasn't changed. Like trading for me has always been the same. Like a bad day just means I lost that day. But like, to me, it's always just kind of like waves in the water, and I'm always fishing, like that's my deal. So it's like, no matter, of course I keep my mind if there's going to be news or something like that. But besides for that, I'm trading and I can always find my scalp. Like I'm looking for sometimes 7 points, 5 points. I mean, I can always find 5 points on NASDAQ. I can always find that. So
especially with the volatility that's been happening lately, how a lot of the guys on Twitter have been struggling, it seems like, with markets like sideways at all-time highs. How do you manage trading in markets that are ranging at all-time highs? Are the scalps the same as they are when we're trending higher or trending lower?
Yeah, so I do better when we're ranging than when we're trending, because I like to just, people complain about the barcode, but barcoding, when it's just like in a straight little box, it's the easiest technically to trade, because eventually, of course, you'll be wrong. You can't do that forever, right? But what I'm really doing is, once price goes up high, I put a sell stop. And so I'm not doing a market entry or something. I'm putting a sell stop saying, okay, if price is going to keep ripping, I won't get in this trade, or we're going to keep doing what we did the last 6 candles and come right back down. And then it will
activate. How quick are those trades?
Some would be like a minute. Some would be 3 minutes, 8 minutes. Like technically, the longer I'm in the trade, the more in trouble I am. The more drawdown I'm in. Like I like to get my money and go.
So I'm sure there's people listening to this that are like part-time traders trying to find a strategy that fits for them. You're now in the mindset that like this is probably the best way to do that. Scalping, a couple of minutes, seeing if you can get quick pops. What would you like? So what do you say when people go, Ike, how do you trade? What's the strategy? Because you don't trade like anybody else I see. So how do you describe it?
So it's really a simple support and resistance strategy. Really, I go to the 30-minute chart. That's as far back as I go, right? Because if I'm in for 5 to 10 points, I don't care what it did last night. I don't care what it did even 2 hours ago. Like I go 30 minutes out, I mark up 30-minute support and resistance, pretty much candle closures, wick touches, and then I pretty much wait for a candle to close above, below, or respect support, respect resistance. And I pretty much never do a market order. I'm always a stop order, sometimes a limit order, but almost always a stop order. And it's the simplest type of trading. It's trading which really, that's the whole strategy. I go from the 30-minute market up, slip down to the 5-minute, and I just wait for price to start going. I buy high, sell higher, and I short low and cover lower. Like I'll never be a sniper entry. You know what I mean? It's boring, consistent, profitable trading.
That's a good way to put it. What are you doing? Like how many per day? How many trades a day are you
trades
at now?
A day?
Yeah. One of the biggest mistakes that I see traders making is they're choosing their prop firm based on emotion instead of logic. They're chasing cheap accounts, flashy payouts, or whatever somebody posted on Twitter without understanding the rules, the drawdown mechanics, or whether the account even fits how they trade. That's why I'm really excited to announce today's sponsor is Prop Firm Match. Prop Firm Match lets you compare over 40 different vetted prop firms on the stuff that actually matters, like trailing versus static drawdown, payout rules, copy trading limits, pricing, and long-term scalability all in one place, propfirmmatch.com. What I also really like is firms that I've actually traded with, like Top One Futures, are listed on Prop Firm Match as some of the top firms for 2026. So you're not just getting random rankings, you're seeing real, relevant options that serious traders are using. Now, if you're treating your trading like a real business and you're not trying to gamble between account roulette to hope your payouts hit, head to propfirmmatch.com, do your research, and then use the code MATCH at whatever prop firm you choose to save the most money possible. Again, propfirmmatch.com, compare your firms, and then hit that code MATCH with whatever firm you'd like to save on your next challenge. Now let's get back to the video.
3 to 5 to 8, really depending on my day. Because, I have a full-time job. So I have either on my phone or I have my chart up on my computer. And throughout the day, I'll look. If I see a setup, I jump on it. If not, I'll miss a trade. So if I have like a slow day at work, I might catch 8, 9, 10 trades. If I'm really busy at work, I might just get one in. You know what I mean? So there's no like minimum or maximum. Like for instance, I've got 5 TradeZella accounts since December, and I think I did 10 days of trading or 9 days of trading on that since December. Like it just because I haven't gotten to it. It's just like you know what I mean? Like trading isn't my main source of income. It's just a great extra source that happens every week, you know? So
that's what I had this guy on like a week or two ago named Dan, and he was saying that. He's like, the quote I used was trading isn't a money generator as much as it's an accelerator for a lot of people. Like guys that are like doing well, have a really good job. He has a really good job like you do. He actually likes his job. So it's like, that's another thing. He enjoys it. And then he's using trading to just create more monthly income, which I think is a lot, which should be talked about a lot more. So many kids on the internet, dude, you see the Twitter kids, they want to be like full-time trader. It's like, what happens when you have a red month? What are you going to do? Like, are you going to be able to handle that? You know? Yeah. Okay. So now should we talk a little bit about prop stuff? Tell me what you're trading right now. You mentioned Tradeify. They've got a lot of options, dude. And I feel like the prop firms are changing their options every day. So catch everybody up on that. What are you trading today? What are you liking? What are you not liking?
I've got 5 Tradeify Flex accounts that I'm trading, which is great. Tradeify is a great company. Lucid, same. I've got 3 Lucids right now, and I think they just released like that Lucid Black, so I'm looking to try that out too to add to it. And then I've got 4 Top Steps, and I've got 20 Apex accounts, and that's really
still got Top Steps.
Still, yeah. I've got.
How did you not get accused of hedging? You didn't get banned. You didn't get nothing.
I've never. They never come after me because I'm never bringing in $5,000 days. Like I'm under the radar. No one minds. Like I'm never doing a $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 payout.
There's actually validity to that, or are you just being funny?
No. I mean, I'm just like a little guy grabbing a couple dollars here. Like last week, I took out from Apex like $4,000 from 3 different accounts from Top Step. I mean, so it's little stuff. The people who are, I think, have gotten these emails are people who are literally they get 5 XFAs copy traded, YOLO it to get 10,000 day one, and then they try to flip 150 for 3 days, take out, and then YOLO again. And I think
that's why they've had to make these changes.
I think so. Like, and I think those days of like really, really big payouts are coming to an end. But keep in mind, $5,000 a week is a big payout. Like, I'm not complaining about that. Like, but on Twitter,
it is. It's crazy how people talk down. It's not big enough. Like in the Twitter space, it's not good enough to these kids. But then you look at it, and not that we're making this podcast a roasting session, but like how many of these guys like make their affiliate payouts look like they're real trading payouts and say they're making all this money trading when they're really making money just selling accounts to people who are losing.
Exactly. And it's way different mindset when you're trading accounts that are almost free because you're advertising, getting money for it. And so you don't really care if you blow that account or you blow 100 accounts because you're getting so much from the affiliate money. And the more you trade, the more affiliates sign up. It's a circle. So so you could definitely learn from these people, but you can't compare what you're going through or your journey to someone like that. Like you just, it's not, the stakes aren't fair. You know what I mean?
With everything going on with Top Step, like I've had a couple of guys change their approach of like not building a buffer with them and just trying to rinse them and take as many payouts as they can because they're afraid of more changes. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, so I never build a buffer. Like I've always, that's what I've always done.
You were going to say that, bro.
That's what I've always done, man. Like you see, I post green calendars, the whole month green. None of those days are over 1,000. They're going to be a $300 day, a 200, 500. At the end of the month, it's $7,000, but then I have 3 of those accounts. Like it's real money. And like, it's almost like if somebody watches a basketball game and sees LeBron and be like, oh, I'm going to play basketball like LeBron. It's like, no, you won't. You're not going to. But you could still maybe sit on the bench and get paid. That's what I'm doing. I'm making a little bit of money, nothing fancy. I show videos in time lapse of my trades online. They're not crazy call outs. I don't wait on any type of ICT type theory or anything like that, no unicorns, no silver bullets. I'm following price go up. I follow price go. I'm like a caveman, I'm just like simple
works, bro. So are you streaming right now? Are you like doing anything like that or no? Because with the job, you're busy.
Yeah, I keep meaning to, but it's in real life, with 2 kids and a job and wife, really the only time I could stream is if I do something at like 4 or 5 a.m. And I keep telling myself I'm going to do it. And it's been now like a year of me saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do it. Like
so early, bro.
Yeah,
when back in the day, I was streaming starting at 5 to 11, 6 hours. It's killer, bro. It was so hard. It was not sustainable just for sleep for me. It was so difficult. Are you,
Yeah,
so
so
tell us what you're trading mainly right now. Are you still focused on the metals?
I do a little bit of gold, but now it's been mostly NQ, especially with the crazy volatility. The volatility. I know lots of traders love that, but it was just too crazy. Like, I don't know if you tried to play around with silver at all, but
No.
it was insane. Like when I saw all
You
these
couldn't get
people
a small
posting,
enough contract in there, right? For the moves that were happening.
yeah, but still, it was just like it just was more. I was stepping out of what like it wasn't for me. Like so I messed with it for a minute, but meaning like on an eval or two, and I was like, okay, bro, that was pretty crazy, and I'm happy I did it, but I'm back to NQ. Like so NQ is my guy because it also moves quick enough where I could be out of a trade in 3-4 minutes and make a few $100s. Where ES is similar, but it's longer of a trade. ES is definitely, I think, like more patience. Your money will last longer too, but I'm trying to get hit it and get out, so
100%. Are you journaling? That's a controversial topic. I was going to say, no. If you're not doing it, you're busy. So how are you supposed to sit down and journal?
I'm busy, and really journaling. Here's the problem. My take on what's wrong with journaling is journaling works technically if trading was a science, right? Price went up here, invalidated here. So X, A plus B is C. But really, just because it happened there doesn't mean it's going to happen again. And it could happen 3 times in a row and then not happen 5 times in a row. I feel like it's too much information for me. It's like and I think a lot of people, when they first started trading, if they didn't learn anything, they just saw the chart and they see price going up, they bought, made money. Like most traders made money on their first couple of trades because they didn't know anything. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, let me learn, let me get smarter. When it's like, bro, you know how many people tried to outsmart the market for the last 200 years? It's like, you're not going to be the guy to do it. Like, it's not going to be you, man. Like, the reason you're trying to trade is because you're not good at anything, probably. You know what I mean? Like, you're probably looking for something that you're good at, and now you're trying to find trading. If you were doing something great, you'd be like, nah, I'm not messing with that trading shit. So it's like the thing that really people need to just get is like, you're not going to really crack the code. You need to be like a fisherman. You're going out there, you're hopefully going to catch your fish, and then you move on. You're not, you can get lost in it because it is fun. Like, it is fun. Trading, it could be fun, especially when you're charting and thinking, but I think it's all just too much noise to make money.
So you think that a lot of new traders make the mistake of just spending too much time taking in information rather than just trading? Is that what you're saying? Like, they're even just studying their own trading too much. Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, and they're also thinking that if they study enough, they'll be good at trading. Like, I know when I first got into trading, I never understood how someone who knew how to trade would ever blow an account. It's like, wait, once you know how to trade, why would you ever blow an account? You know how to trade. Almost like it's a science. Like once you know it, you don't not know it, but it's not. Like, it's not. And so when you first start trading, you think it is. And so you feel like, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to study this, I'm going to really get it. And it's like, you're just going to run in circles. You're going to just chase your tail around in circles doing that. So
do you feel like there's a part of it though that is a science? Like, is there any part of it that you would look back on your own journey and be like, I could have learned quicker if I would have approached it with less discretion? Or do you feel like you should have applied more discretion? A longtime friend of the podcast, TradeZella is offering you, as the listener, 20% off their journaling software. The back testing is incredible, and they have a ton of new features coming in 2026. So use the code ASFX to save 20% at TradeZella.com. Again, the code is ASFX at TradeZella.com. Hey traders, you've probably heard me mention the Black Shirt Club before. That's our group coaching program. We meet 3 times per week. We actually have a meeting today, and we are looking for some of you to fill empty seats in the mentorship. A couple of people just graduated to finish the year, so we want to make sure the group stays full. Head to asfx.biz/BSC to read more about what the club includes. You can also go to that website and book a free call with me. I'll hop on with you for 10 minutes and I'll answer any questions that you have. This is a $500 a month program. No like crazy fees, no hidden contracts, no cancel anytime. We're very flexible. We're not here to hurt you. We are here to help you make more money and help you get around traders that are trying to better themselves through more discipline and more accountability. So if that sounds like something that interests you, asfx.biz/BSC.
Well, no, you see, like when I look back at a trade that lost, I always could find the reason why it lost, right? Oh, look, it didn't sweep the previous candle high. Oh, I should have, right? If you look at a trade that won, I bet you could also find a reason like why it would have, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can always find your reason on the chart. The chart, you give me enough time frames, bro, I can show you anything. You know, you let me switch to a different time frame, I'll show you fair value gaps. I'll show you everything you want. If you let me switch the time frame from 15 seconds to 15 minutes, I'll find you everything. So it's like, I feel like that information that you're coming up with is like an answer you're giving yourself, but it's not. It won't last. I don't think it. I don't think it. I don't really think it does what it does you any services, really. You know, like.
I think that's a fair point. I think there will be listeners that agree with you. I know there will be people that probably disagree a little bit, but I think that your perspective on it is valid from your experience. Speaking of just this direction of like journaling and stuff, since it's on my mind, you want to give a comment on this Justin Werline thing?
I mean, listen, I heard, did he just come out saying he faked it all?
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, it was a marketing stunt.
Right. Like, I mean, listen, it's pretty good, right? Like, I mean,
he got everybody
out there. Like, I mean, you know, like the other guy, what's his name? Alex, who ran out on the field for NFL for the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, look, marketing, especially in like this world, to get everyone talking about you, it's pretty cool. I don't know. I feel like you got to have also like the brass balls to take all the people talking so much shit about you for that day or two until you break the news. But I mean, I don't know. It's like you're there to teach someone how to trade, or you're there to like fuck with everyone. I don't know. You know, it seems like it's not his style in a way. You know what I'm saying?
I respect him for attempting the marketing play. I just think it doesn't work in this industry where like once you kind of fuck around, I think like that, you're known as a guy that fucks around. Like that guy, Danny Trades. I feel like people know him as a guy that fucks around. Like he's Joe. He's like Patrick Whelan. Like they fuck around. You know what I'm saying?
Fuck around. Right. Exactly. So he was supposed to be like, oh, I'm the good guy. I'm honest. I'm giving you my real emotion, my real thoughts. And then he like does this whole video. It's already like, well, okay, so everything you're saying could be bull. It might still be bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
How do I believe you right now? Like now, and like if it is promotion for a new product, that's tough. You know, you gave him the credit for being smart about it because it got so much attention. But is it the right attention? You know, because there's always that saying, dude, like, and everyone will argue this about like, there's no such thing as bad publicity. I don't know.
I don't know.
Depending on what time frame you're allowed to recover.
Right.
I don't know exactly what the time frame is that you should be applying that saying to. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the direction I'd like the industry to go. I don't know if you saw this too. They're making a new Market Wizards book, and some of the people in that book have called each other into question, it seems like, or people that are influential on Twitter are being called out by it's like, it's almost like negativity, fear, calling each other. It's like, that's all social media is for. Nobody cares about any value. You know, they want to be entertained. That's why Justin did.
No, 100%. I mean, it is really to get more eyes on you. And so, I mean, I guess, look, it worked. I've never gone to his YouTube before, you know, and so until this happened, you know, so it brought me to look at him.
Analytics probably look crazy.
Right. So, I mean, you know, and if he's getting a bunch of money per click and he's not super profitable, I don't know what his deal is, but he just made a bunch of money on YouTube. So, I mean, he's doing what he's got to do, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of, if you're trying to like teach people, especially new people coming in, and then you pull like a prank on everyone saying like you're all fake. It's like, I don't know. Did you pull a prank and then decided not to? And
it's weird to me too, because like all the guys who get roasted like this never have like a business with like reviews. Like I have a Trustpilot where people can go write public reviews about me. So it's like, I wonder why people fall for these people. Not necessarily that anyone you could fall for Justin. Justin's a good kid. Like I'm not saying anything negative direct, but it's like, where was the research done before you just believed what he said out of his mouth? I'm profitable. Well, he might be, he might not be. Why do we need to believe anyone on the internet? I would operate of the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Until proven, I would say you are not telling me the full truth.
Yeah. I think once you start paying someone to be like your mentor, which is already like, bro, you're a grown man. Don't call a guy who knows how trying to teach you candlesticks a mentor. Like, like that's just like imagine you start a job at like in any industry, a
bartender. You're at Chick-fil-A, dude, and he's teaching you how to put this is your mentor. Box, and he's your mentor.
He's your mentor. He's going to teach you how to do the fry. Like, you're not a mentor. You do kung fu, fine, all right. Mentor for any karate. Sensei. But like, bro, you're just trying to teach someone a trade. Just be like, yo, he's teaching me. I don't know.
I agree.
It's like, you know, because it gives it like there's a mythical sense.
My students, I hate that, bro. I hate that.
Yeah. So I mean, I try to call that out when I see it. It's just like, because there's not something mythical about trading. It's not like because you're a good trader, you're some like amazing philosopher. You could be the biggest asshole and dick and know how to trade. Like,
for sure.
So it's like it doesn't mean you have some new understanding of the world. Like you could be the biggest, I don't know. So it's like,
yeah, dude, you could be a dumbass and be a good
right.
trader. I had someone tell
Me.
me, bro. Yeah, like I had a 2.9 GPA in high school. Like, why are we
There you go.
considering
At least
why
you finished high school. Well,
yeah, there you go.
No,
But I'm saying, like, why correlate intelligence on like an IQ standpoint to profitable?
Exactly.
There is not a direct correlation, I don't think.
No. I mean, it's, you could say it's like, if, I keep comparing it to like fishing, but you don't need to be a smart guy to know how to be a good fisherman, right? Like so, you see your setups, you go for it. That's it. So, I mean, and I show it on my Twitter a lot. I post like my payouts and I post my RR, which is at like 0.28 or something, but I show my calendar and I show my payouts. So you can't argue somebody's strategy when they're getting payouts. When they're showing money, you can't argue it,
So true. I had somebody comment on my daily payouts from my live account and they're like, why are you taking such small payouts? And I had to explain to them like how I'm taking them consistently. Like I've taken 15 this month and blah, blah, blah. And like, you can say that that's small to you, but like you can't argue that over the month, 15, 20, $300 to $500 payouts adds up to probably covering your rent, whoever the guy is that's talking shit to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but it's back to what we were saying. They're all conditioned now that you have to make big hits. And I feel like you're well-versed in this. So what's your opinion? But crypto almost messed up everybody's mind. Crypto and gambling, it's making everyone think like short term. And we both gamble. So I'm not saying I'm I'm just saying it's made everybody like think you have to 10x every investment, every trade, everything's got to be big, big, big. And then I get DMs once a week. Literally yesterday, this guy Jordan, I'm coming over to the negative RR. I'm done with big RR. It's every week, and it's like they're just silent in the background, slowly converting over.
Yeah. No, I mean, people tag me all the time when they get a payout saying like they've been struggling. Now they switch to negative RR. Now they're getting payouts and stuff because it's easier, right? It means you're risking more to get less. So it's almost like when you have a sports bet. If you're risking more money, if you're doing a minus 400 trade on a heavy favorite of minus 400 to get 100, you have a good chance of winning that trade. You're risking more, but you have a good chance of winning. It's just like sports. It's like anything. The more, if you're risking more, you'll have a better chance if you're taking less. You know what I mean? Less return.
100%.
Odds are in your favor.
And it's all probabilities. At the end, you can still lose it, but if you can shift those probabilities, then you can justify that potential risk reward setup for sure. Yeah. So what do you like on size? Do you want to go specific and maybe give the listeners some specifics on size with the different prop accounts? What size are you trading? And then like, why are you trading that contract size for that account? You want to break that down?
Mostly 50Ks, but I do have some 150Ks like with Top Step and some 100Ks, but mostly 50Ks because for the simple fact they're easier to pass. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking to try to get money. I don't need to, and if I need to make 6,000 to pass 100K, I'd rather make 6,000 in the 50K account and be able to take out that money, right? Because really, once you get above your buffer, you can just keep going. So it's like I'd rather make that money in an account and get a payout than make it in an eval. Sure. That's kind of my thoughts on 50Ks. They're just easier.
Are you doing any instant funded?
No. It's like it's not worth the money for me really, because it's usually the cost of like 3 or 4 evals for like an instant funded account. And I'm usually going to pass my eval, if not my first try, my second try. It's just not worth financially to put that much up,
Okay. So talk to me about why you like the evals. I know Top One is about to drop a new eval on Monday. So by the time this episode comes out, it'll be out. What do you like about evals? And then I'll tell you what they have coming in this new account.
I mean, I wish I could trade my fundeds the way I trade my evals. I don't know, like I have just some more like liberties, but I'll just like see like, like I also like to go like from a wick to another wick, like thinking like wicks like to get filled. Like I see wicks as magnets, like, price keeps coming to them and bouncing off. So if I see like my setup on a eval, if it might only be for like 6-7 points, I'll do like 4 contracts for 7 points.
Heavy.
Heavy, and make a quick, $1,000 there and 7 points with 4 contracts, something like that. In a funded account, I wouldn't do that because I guess I'd be afraid if it turns against me for 7, 8, 9 points first, I'll get popped. So but I have my win rate, and I show that too always. My win rate's about 90%. So 9 out of 10 times I'm right, and I don't mind being wrong on an eval. But when I'm in my funded, I just get my consistent payouts. I don't want to risk it. Like I'm not a pig. Like I'll just keep paying me. I'll shut up.
100%. So I know with the Top One accounts, they're doing 3 days to pass, daily payouts on funded, no consistency on funded. There will be resets and reset back to funded. It's on a 50K, $3,000 profit target, $2,000 end of day trailing drawdown. So I think it will be, and then like, I think it's priced like very similar to Tradeify. So I think it's going to be super competitive. I think people are like it. I think the industry has shifted back from instant funded to eval. Like when I brought it up on stream that they were dropping this new eval, people were like, oh, I'm coming back to top one, or I'll try that firm I've never. So I think people like the eval model. Maybe people don't understand instant funded. I don't know.
Well, the problem with instant funded is you have more money. It's more money up front, and the rules are usually a little bit tighter to get a payout.
Sure.
So it's like double. Now, if I was just learning and I was not in any rush and I wanted to but make money, I would probably take an instant funded to like trade small micros on to build an account slowly without any rush. Not looking to hit 3,000 because it might take me 2 weeks to hit 3,000.
Yeah, 2 or 3
I don't want
weeks,
to.
right.
Yeah, so I don't want to do that on an eval because then I'm waiting forever till I get funded and whatever. But on a instant funded, that would be a good way to slowly learn and build and know that you're working toward a payout. Like the money you're making, you could withdraw. So I do see that use for them.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of people around you that are like now seeing how successful you've made trading as a part-time thing, and they're like hitting you up now of like, yo, let me get into it. So you send them to the eval, right?
Yeah, and really funny. One guy I taught. So I have this, pretty much a scalping little. I call it ICT, Ike's candlestick theory, right? so it's pretty much. It sounds very simple and stupid, and of course there's more nuances to it. But pretty much, I look for a candle on NQ to be between 10 and 30 points. Okay. If a candle between 10 and 30 points forms, I'm usually expecting like a 4-point pullback on that, just about 3-4 points. So I'll have like a 5-point TP, 20-point stop loss. Okay. And I showed him that. I said, look, you just wait for the 5-minute candle close. If it fits between 10 and 30 points, you go sell, instant sell. And it pre-made the
it
TP
closes
stop
bullish,
loss.
so you're selling it for that pullback.
For a quick 4 points, right? So if it goes up 20 points, I'm just saying like it should come back 4 points before it goes up 20 points. You know what I mean? Because it's and he signed up with Top Step. He ended up getting 10,000 in payouts in 1 month. He beat me that month on top.
Wow.
And then he started going on YouTube. And then he calls me. He's like, bro, I don't think I could lose. I just learned about this and a fair value. And I'm like, bro, this is the beginning of the end. You're about to never make the payout. He laughed like blah, blah, blah. He laughed about it. And I'm not even kidding with you. He hasn't gotten a payout. He watched a bunch of videos. He thought he couldn't lose all of a sudden. Like he figured it out and he blew all of his accounts. And he's on an eval now but it's really like, you got to keep it simple. The less you know, simple rule. Don't try to perfect anything. Just follow the simple rule. You could get paid,
Why is it's so crazy, bro? It's so and no one's talking about it, but like you can have too much information in your mind and it slows down how much. For sure. I got guys in the Black Shirt Club. I had a guy graduate today. His name is Brian. Came in, had all this shit on his chart, bro. Fair value gaps, VWAPs. We slim it down. He's doing really well. He literally had his last hot seat today because he's leaving. And he's left and he's like, I have no pain points. Like I'm doing really well. I feel really good. I said to him, I'm like, look at your chart. Like everyone noticed it. You were with us for 3 months. 3 months ago, you were super crowded. Now you've slimmed it down, made it more simple. And now look at how much more consistent you are. It's just crazy how people think the answers are on YouTube. Like just because you can YouTube how to bake bread and then get good information about baking bread doesn't mean you can just YouTube how to trade. And then the guy that first pops up is the guy that's going to teach you how to do it. It's like not true at all. If anything, it could be bad information.
Right. And for breaking bread, you take these recipes, you bake it for X amount of time and you get bread. You can
Every
get
time.
For trading, there's no such thing as when this happens, then this happens and it will go this way. That will never get
every time. It's impossible.
Right. So people believe like that it is. So that's why they fall into the trap of learning to trade. And after a trade happens, like I said, you can always break it down and find whatever you want to find and any reason you're looking for. But it's just in your head, like the simpler you keep it, the better it goes. I mean, I smoke weed all day and I'm still trading and making money. It's like you see people online talking about how like, oh, you got to be locked in this, that perfect. It's like, bro, you're just trading. You're pressing buy, sell. You're trying to scalp a couple points. You're moving on. It's not that serious. It's really not,
It's your lack of care is like the perfect amount. Some people I think care too much. They like overly obsess about their trading. to where it defines their day, it defines their personality, right? You're like, I'm just doing what the market's telling me to do. I think that's the big takeaway from talking to you today, so far, at least. You know what I mean? Like, your approach is what makes you successful and leads to your payouts. It's not the way you read the chart, it's the mindset of it.
Well, it's because lots of people, they get into trading to make money so that they could hang out. But what happens is they get into trading and all of a sudden they fall in love with the idea and the art of trading. So now all of a sudden, instead of you getting your free time, you're locking yourself into the charts nonstop to try to get money and struggle to get money. But even if you got money, you'd still be locked in the chart. It's like, you got to remember, the reason you started to learn was not because you were so interested in candlesticks. That's not why you got into trading. You got into trading to make money so you could not look at a computer all day. And people lose track of the plot because they get sucked into how much fun trading could be. You know, I get it.
I was gonna say, then the plot becomes clicking buttons at your desk all day and not hanging out with your family or not doing anything. Right. And that's the opposite of what you intended for it to be.
Yeah. So it's like, you gotta remain focused. The goal is money. It's not to predict the market. It's not to get lightning. It's not to be the best, getting the best execution. It's not to get bottom tick, top tick. It's just to get money. However you got to do it. You can have the ugliest trade. If you got paid, that's what your bank only cares that. Your bank doesn't care how you traded and what your RR is. Your bank cares if you're putting cash in the bank. That's it.
That's all that matters. And I think it's unfortunate. You see the people who have like the most ego in their trading always bashing other people. Negative risk reward doesn't work. You just focus on yourself. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Don't do it. Right. Yeah. Don't worry about my bills. Yeah. Don't worry about Ike's bills. You'll be fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you think that this approach would work in personal capital too?
Yeah, I have a personal account and I traded it today a little bit also, just quick little scalps like this. So yes, but in the long run, it doesn't really like make sense. Cause like while I'm trading it, I'm like, yeah, okay, I am doing this, but now I'm risking like 300, 400 on a trade. Like, I don't have to do that. I could go buy an eval at top one. I could go do I don't need to trade my personal to make money. So I have one, especially if I want to swing something overnight. If there's some news I might want to gamble on over the weekend, so I'll get into a trade before the weekend. So I have it for those reasons. But really, I think once you know how to trade, it doesn't make sense to do that. Just keep using prop firms till a prop firm bans you because you're too profitable and they can't make money off you, and then go on to the next. Like, you know, like that's the way I see it.
You know anybody that's gotten banned? Do you have anybody that you're trading with? That's
Ocala, right?
Yeah, I know of him. I don't know him like that.
He's a great trader, young. He does this. It's pretty cool. He only trades on his phone, and he has a set stop loss in TP. I think his stop loss is 10 points, TP's 15 points always. And he has like his perimeters where he gets in and he trades incredibly, copy trades. And so, yeah, he's been banned from like Tradeify. I think he alluded he's about to get banned from Lucid. He got banned. He keeps getting banned because he crushes it. And he live streams here and there. But I would check him out, watch his stream. I think you'll like it.
How'd you find it?
It's different. Just do Twitter, you know, like I comment on his stuff, he comments on mine, and then. But I think you'd like him. It's cool trading. It's fun to watch. Like, I don't trade like that, but I'll still watch his stream because it's entertaining. Like, to see where he gets in and when he gets out, it's just good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, getting banned from all the firms is definitely, it says something. You know what I mean? It's like the casino telling you can't play here anymore. So he'll trade personal capital. He'll be fine. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you manage trading the different accounts? Like, are you copy trading or are you trading them all separately?
I copy trade some of my Apex in groups of 5, and then the Lucids I trade together. I do it through Ninja Trader, not through Trader.
Why do you do the groups of 5?
Because I don't want to blow all my accounts because I'm an idiot one day. You know what I mean? So the thing is, if I'm doing groups of 5, and let's say I do a trade in each of them, and let's just say I hurt one of those groups, I still might have qualified for payout on 15 other accounts. You know, where if I was copy trading, I wouldn't be getting any payout. So give me groups of 5. So this way, if I do something dumb, even if I have a red day in one group, I could still have an overall green day.
That makes sense.
You know? So
Zach Arbucci has a word for that. I forget what he called it on the podcast. De-risking, or about thinking of the risk of all of your accounts and splitting them up so you don't lose all of them at once.
Yeah. I've lost them all at once before, so that's why I started doing this. You know.
Yeah, you learn through that. Do you feel like when you're looking at this from an outside point of view, like, is there anything else you'd go back and do differently other than the copy trading there?
I mean, the main thing when you're learning is, or getting into trading, is to remember there's no rush. It's really hard to remember that when you see people posting like huge P&Ls, and you don't want to just be making a couple hundred a day because you're trying to rush to get to this payout in day 5 and you need to hit 3,000 by day 5. So, or whatever it is, it's like, you got to remember that money. If you need that money, then you shouldn't be trading. Like it's great when that money, when it comes, if it comes in 2 weeks, that's fine too. You just take your time, getting better and better, copy trading more and more accounts, and you'll be getting paid. Like, so
100%. So before we wrap up, Ike, any other resources that you want to share with everybody? Anything that's like, I know you're in your own lane, but anybody that you want to shout out other than Ocala? Anybody else that's like worth an eyeball to the listeners?
Yeah, definitely. Ocala is incredible. Mr. Zink. I don't know if you know Mr. Zink.
Yeah, he's got the same kind of thing. They both have like black profile pictures, right?
Kind of. And Mr. Zink, he does all the IB, initial balance, like jumping off. So it's a new, like, not new, but it's a different type of strategy that hasn't been around all over, and it's pretty interesting, So
what does that mean? He's waiting until after that's set before he trades?
Yeah, so pretty much he waits the first hour from like 8 to 9:30, and then I think he enters off like the 50% mark of the high and low. It's almost like an orb, I think, something like that. But and of course there's another trader, Karabi, on he just brings in like $100,000 days, like 3 days a week. Like,
who's he trading with?
Top Step on live. So it's like live Top Step.
They're letting them do that.
Real. It's real. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. So
do you want to get a live account with a prop firm, or are you just going to keep doing evals and your own money?
No. I've never got moved to live, and I think that they don't see me as like a big threat. So they just keep paying me my few thousand a week, and I shut up and I get paid. Like
I love it, bro. It's great.
Yeah. Like they make you think that 5 to 10 grand a month is bad, and it's like, yeah, if that's all your money you're making, fine, fair enough. But if you have a good job and you're chilling, and then you're making an extra 5 to 10 grand a month, it's incredible. It takes all
even
these
in New Jersey,
right? Exactly. Like,
imagine if you're not in New Jersey, where all your money goes to taxes.
For sure, I know. Like, and I'm probably gonna have to go buy my neighbor a new snowblower after I broke his out from the storm. So I'm gonna have to take another payout soon. But
bro, you know what? It sucks. Jersey's beautiful. It sucked me in the other day. I was looking at beach houses in Stone Harbor and Avalon, and I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know if they'll ever get my tax money. Those Jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I pay. Well, I'm in a good school district, but I pay $23,000 a year in taxes.
Yeah, I think people will hear that. There'll be people that are like, dude, that's 4 times what I pay, 3 times what I pay.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Crazy.
I mean, even in Brooklyn, I've got a friend who has a house in Brooklyn. He pays $9,000 a year. So I'm $22,000 a year in taxes. So that's like, it's $2,000 a month is just taxes for the house. That's
why you have to be consistent with the problem.
Yeah, that's why I don't do anything stupid. Like I posted a calendar the other day where you see every day my trades are like 300 to 500. I had one day of the month where I lost 1,900. That was like kind of but I didn't blow my account. And then I just kept trading back to 500 a day, 400 a day. I'm still up like 4,500 on that.
But it'll take that. That's the downfall with this strategy is you'll take a bigger loss. I'm the same way, and then you'll have to claw back after a couple of days. It's a pain in the dick.
So somebody wrote that to me like I could never trade a strategy where it would take me 4 wins to win back my loss. I'm like, well, I could never trade a strategy that's not going to give me consistent payouts. So I just got to get payouts.
8 out of 10 trades, right?
Right. Like I'm getting consistent payouts. So like, yeah, I will blow an account, of course. But like I've been on the same accounts for months. Like I been posting trading the exact same way since like 2023 since I've been posting. So like you can go back on my page 2 years, you'll see my same type of trades, same couple hundred. Like I don't believe in adding to something once you make it to profitability. Once you make it to the promised land of consistent payouts, stop learning. Like I'll watch other people's streams because I like them and I'm, like to watch it, but I don't want to know about it. Like, don't give me more info, bro. I know what I'm doing now. I don't want it,
bro. I hope people are not laughing at you, like in the sense of like he's not serious. He is serious.
I'm serious.
Like, you're listening this far through. I think that is the best takeaway you can get from this. Is like there's too much information at some point that will slow you down, especially if you've already seen payouts. I have a lot of people that come into the Black Shirt Club that are like, I took payouts and now it's not consistent. I need more consistency. More than I thought. I thought it would be more people are like, I've never taken a payout. People touch it. Yeah, some people touch it, but then the consistency of it is the hardest part.
I think it's because you try to break your record again, and you try to keep up. and really just keep being boring, keep getting paid, and live your life. Get off the charts, make your money for the day, and you keep it moving.
Yep, 100%. Okay, we'll pin it here. Ike, thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I know you're busy, dude. I know you got to go shovel some snow. So we will get this out. I'll probably have this up next Saturday, bro. So this will be out soon.
All right, man. I really appreciate it. It's great talking to you again.
Everybody, if you listened all the way through, Forex Ike on social, make sure you go follow him. You know the man. I appreciate you again, Ike. Listeners, thank you guys for staying all the way through. Make sure you subscribe. New episodes every Saturday.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye.
The prop game is a different game. Dude.
Different game.
Like, it is literally, it's about payouts. It's about money in, money out. Dude, but a majority of my payouts actually were taken during Asia session. A majority of them. I went through the numbers and everything, and I was like, dude, I did like over 100K trading Asia. You need a max loss limit on the day. It doesn't matter if you think you are better than that. You aren't better than it. The more you practice the skill and you put deliberate effort towards it, I think it's almost impossible not to get good at the skill. God, I just hit 6 years trading full-time, and it took me 2.5 to 3 years to finally kind of get break even. That was like my profitability. I'm like, okay, I'm profitable.
Tanner Owings back in the hot seat. You know, most traders grind for years in attempt of a breakout year. You had yours last year. So that's what we're going to sit down and talk about today, buddy. So shake my hand, bro, because you are one of the only guests. You know, I feel like my job with this podcast is to not interview scammers. And what it's flipped into now is I get to interview people like you and Chris multiple times, and you get to like see the progression of the journey. So today we'll definitely focus this episode on the breakout year. But I feel very grateful and very honored that I've been a part of your growth over the last, year and a half, 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
Not just with the top one stuff, but just seeing you develop as a trader, take bigger payouts, take bigger risks with your options trading. So a lot to admire in you, bro. So congrats to your success. And then, you know, today, hopefully we're going to attract a listener who is in attempt of their breakout year. We're going to go after the people who are maybe in year 1 through 4 or 5, where they maybe tasted a little bit of success. Like you said, they felt that profitability on the finger, but they don't have the consistency yet. Whether it's through personal capital or prop firm, it's really going to be the same. So are you excited to be back? What is this, third episode, fourth episode?
I think it's our third episode. Yeah.
One-on-one, but then we did the roundtables.
Oh, yeah. So at this point, it's like the 5th or 6th. Or
so, dude, like I said, I'm just super appreciative that I get to kind of document your journey. So let's kick it off, I think, with numbers, because when we talk about the title of this episode, it's breakout year. It's, you know, how much money did this guy make? That's what people are going to want to talk about. So why don't you start us there? Give us an overview of that, and then we'll backtrack into your story a little bit to catch people up.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, transparency is the goal, right? Especially in this industry and everything going on in it and stuff like that. So, God, I just hit 6 years trading full-time, and it took me 2.5 to 3 years to finally kind of get break even. That was like my profitability. I'm like, okay, I'm profitable. And I want to start off the pod by saying the term, oh, are you a profitable trader? Everyone thinks it's like this like magic thing. Okay, I made it. That's it. You're profitable. That's it. All the work's done. And you're making $1 million a year. That's not what it means at all. Like, it's obviously looks different for a lot of people, but for me, that was not the case. Profitable meant literally my mouth was above water and I could breathe. And I'm like, okay, I'm above the line, right? But once it became profitable, it was like making $2 to $3 grand a month, right? It's not gonna make me rich, but you're doing the thing. And so I think it is important when you cross that milestone to be like, oh, cool, I'm profitable. I made it to here, but there's a lot of refining that goes on.
But what you're saying is
after that,
that's not the milestone you thought it would be. That's not the end goal that you thought.
Correct.
Okay. So
yeah, exactly. So basically 2 to 3 years, got profitable, head above water, like I said, making 2 to 3K a month. And then I remember the next year, I made about $60,000 that year, whatever it was. The year after that, climbing a little bit, but I thought it would be exponential and be one of those crazy things where okay, here we go, right? No, because I went from options to futures, kind of had to refine my footing with futures, and it's like going into a whole new product, a whole new strategy, all this type of stuff.
Right.
So you kind of have to take a few steps back. And that's the thing too, like when you become profitable, eventually you still get to a point where things shift. You kind of need to adapt, right? Markets change, right? That stuff happens. So when I went over to futures, that's really what I had to do, because I got profitable trading options only. And with options, a lot of my edge was specifically trading post-earnings setups.
I remember.
So that was like my thing. Like I'd be really good at these like gap and go setups on earnings. I had this one called Power Earnings Gap. I'd always trade really, really well on those. But when it wasn't earnings season, I would always just be like throwing stuff at the wall and then just slowly like dwindling down. So I was like, I need to find something that's like income, right? Like more day-to-day cash trading.
Sure.
So with futures, I found that a lot of the VWAP setups, a lot of simple kind of scalps and stuff like that. Got into the prop space, started to learn that game of the prop stuff. But it took me another year, even after being profitable, like I said, to relearn that entire new field of stuff. So the following year, after 60K, I made about 80K. So still hadn't even really crossed the 100K mark. And that to me, that was kind of like, okay, once I crossed 6 figures in trading profits, that's like, you're doing the thing. Like I remember actually at, I go to Traders for a Cause every year. I was just there obviously a few days ago. Last year, Lance was doing a speech about how if you can make 6 figures a year as a trader, you're like a professional trader, he considers. And then as it goes up, he's like, if you're making 7 figures a year, you're like starting, you're on the starting line of the team. And if you could do the 8 figures a year, you are like the Stephen, the Kobe Bryant's, like stuff like that. So 6 figures a year is a big milestone. And that's for sure. I want to point out in this pod that like, if you're doing that, or even if you're making money at all from trading, you're doing the good thing. Like this is hard. It's really, really difficult. So if you're doing that, congrats. And after my 80K year, last year was finally my breakout year where I learned the props. I learned the copy trading. I learned more of my options like edge too, because I wasn't being as aggressive with options. I understood that was okay. I can take my earning setups, but I can kind of skip a lot of the junk. And so last year, breakout year, I made about $232,000 in profits overall. So that was like, okay, cool. I'm doing the damn thing. This is it. We made it.
What was the biggest month? One of the biggest mistakes that I see traders making is they're choosing their prop firm based on emotion instead of logic. They're chasing cheap accounts, flashy payouts, or whatever somebody posted on Twitter without understanding the rules, the drawdown mechanics, or whether the account even fits how they trade. That's why I'm really excited to announce today's sponsor is Prop Firm Match. Prop Firm Match lets you compare over 40 different vetted prop firms on the stuff that actually matters, like trailing versus static drawdown, payout rules, copy trading limits, pricing, and long-term scalability all in one place, propfirmmatch.com. What I also really like is firms that I've actually traded with, like Top One Futures, are listed on Prop Firm Match as some of the top firms for 2026. So you're not just getting random rankings, you're seeing real, relevant options that serious traders are using. Now, if you're treating your trading like a real business and you're not trying to gamble between account roulette to hope your payouts hit, head to propfirmmatch.com, do your research, and then use the code MATCH at whatever prop firm you choose to save the most money possible. Again, propfirmmatch.com, compare your firms, and then hit that code MATCH with whatever firm you'd like to save on your next challenge. Now let's get back to the video.
Biggest month last year.
It was towards the end of the year, I think, right?
It was towards the end of the year. I had between all my businesses and everything, I technically had a 6-figure month, but I think just trading profits last year, I had a month I did about 70K.
Do you think
so
that
a good chunk of it?
Is it majority from prop trading with futures, or is it majority from options trading?
It was a majority trading props for sure.
So when the listeners thinking about this, they hear that you're doing 2 markets. Do you recommend that? Now, when you think back on it, did you hit this breakout year in the time frame that you did because your focus was on both markets, or do you think you could have hit it faster had you been just focused on one?
Really good question. I think because I had the skill and the knowledge of the product of options itself, it allowed me to supplement, I guess, the income of prop. But I do say just focus on one, because it can get very clouded and crowded overall in your mind, where you're like, because there was times where towards the end of the year, actually, I would have made actually over like 260 or 270, but I got smoked in December because I started getting really cocky with some of my options, and I lost like 30K in December on options alone.
Right.
And I was like, dude, I was so close. Like, what am I doing? Right. Like last month, like blowing it. But that's because I was trying to do too much at once, and that's kind of where it all got messy. So yeah, focus on just one, I'd say.
From the outside looking in, it's interesting now sitting down doing this podcast when you called me probably 3 times this year, pretty frustrated.
Oh yeah.
Pretty burnt out, pretty, what other words would be used to describe how you were feeling during not just the December over it, like ready to like stop trading. So, which, I talk to a lot of traders, the listeners, the podcast hear different perspectives all the time. I guess we could ask Chris that same question later. It's probably going to be the same. Like, even in a great year, there's going to be moments where you're like, what the fuck? And like, you're ready to. So you want to speak on that? Because again, like, we want to make sure we're being real with everybody. As great as it is to make 6 figures, I mean, with inflation nowadays, it ain't going to do too much in a couple of years. You're going to need multiple 6 figures. But it's great as that is. There's not, it's not a smooth path to that. So let's even pinpoint a couple of those moments. Maybe can you speak on how you pulled yourself out of those, like, literally moments where in a breakout year, you're ready to quit?
For sure. Yeah. So I would say you're always going to go through rough patches. It is part of the career. Like, literally, it just happens. Like, it's like, even once you are, I've heard this from veteran traders that are 10 years in, 15 years in, they're like, you're going to have some months and some drawdown periods where you're like, do I know what I'm doing? And you literally feel like a rookie again. And you get like almost imposter syndrome. But once I've talked to enough traders and realized, like, no, it's just part of the career. Markets change, markets adapt. So during those periods, and actually I'm literally kind of going through this in February. So in January, I had another record month for trading. The start of this year, I did 65K in payouts and another 15K in options. So I did 80K in 1 month, where I'm like, oh shit. Started the year all strong and hot, and I was just like crushing it. Had some swings that were open to that were just doing awesome. And I was like, dude, this is going to be it. This is probably be my 7-figure year. February comes, got smoked. I did take like one payout, like one big payout for like, 13,500 with a prop. But other than that, I lost 30K this month trading options, just being too aggressive. I probably dumped, at least probably 5K in challenges on prop stuff. So overall this month, I definitely lost money. And it's one of those things where, like, right now I'm going through it. I'm like, okay, like, what do I do to like reset mentally? And the answer always is just slow down to speed up. Because like the more you do, the more you press, it just makes it harder to kind of climb back out. So you have to do things to like fully reset yourself and slow down, because otherwise it just becomes nightmare fuel, where your calendar, I call it like P&L calendar nightmare fuel, where you're like, you'd be like, some of my swings lately have been insane. Where like day to day of trading options, where it was like, I'm up 6K on the day, next day I lose 4 grand. Then I'm up 9K on the day, the next day I lose 6 grand. 20K day, oh my God, I lost $10,000 in one day. Like, it just so back and forth and insane. But again, that's because it was just pushing instead of being like, yo, pull back, chill.
What do you think about the idea of like you in your development getting better at putting losses behind you? Because I think when I do this interview thing more and more, the guys that are doing really well put losses behind them faster. Do you think that that's something you've focused on, or do you think that that's just been a natural occurrence for you because you're slowing down in some ways?
I think as you still gain experience, no matter what, it gets easier to come into the day with a fresh slate
and not worry about the losses from yesterday.
Yeah, it just becomes easier because, again, as you start making some money too, it's like, you're not gonna make rent still.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be tripping, right?
Right,
It still hurts and still sucks, but like you're not tripping as much. And it does allow you to be like, all right, well, that sucked yesterday. Let's not compound it and go super aggressive again today. But it's a fresh slate. Where's the opportunity? Let's look for it. Let's capitalize on it.
It's glass half full. Like, yes. I know I messed up yesterday, but there's going to be more opportunity.
Correct.
I think new traders come at it with like a lack of, not an abundance of. So they're like, oh, I can't believe I messed up today. In a way, you're saying there's not going to be more tomorrow. But especially being in 2 different markets, there's plenty tomorrow.
Yeah, always. There's always a new opportunity, right? And honestly, one of the things that actually has helped me a lot recently is taking more breaks than
what does that mean?
Like literally taking days off.
Not trading at all.
But yeah, not trading at all, or accepting, like, especially like, we've been in this huge range on the markets for the past, since October. Since October. So there's been days where literally I wake up and I look at the daily candle each day to determine potentially like, we're going to expand, we're going to be an inside day, whatever it is. And a lot of times, if we are actually opening in a location where I'm just honest with myself in the morning,
like I don't do well here,
I'm just like, dude, I have no idea where this is going to go today. Like, I'm like, this is in the middle of multi-bars. Like, I'm like, if this is it's not a good location. So I started being more honest. I'm like, you know what? Maybe let today be an information gathering day. Take it off. And especially leaning that towards that, like in the beginning of the week or the end of the week, and just being okay with taking like 3-day weekends or something like that. Because again, as you get deeper into it, you realize there's always going to be more opportunity, dude.
Well, don't you have to think about it differently too? Because you're conditioned from your old job, working at the restaurant, to work every day to get paid.
For sure.
Now you have all this money, you're moving around money in different ways. You don't have to do things all the time.
For
you
sure.
actually have to be selective. You're saying be honest. I use the word selective.
For sure.
You're like, be honest with myself. Yeah, but that's also you being selective. I can read this and I'm reading it and it sucks. Not I can read this and I can get a trade out of this.
Yeah.
So going back to the big, roller coaster P&L, I do think we should talk about that just for a second, because with bigger wins come bigger losses. Has it been hard to adjust? Does it desensitize you to money? Because I think for some of the listeners, they can't imagine swinging 4K, 9K, 10K. It's just not in their capacity yet.
For sure.
How do you get to that point? Do you want to speak on that, like sizing up over time, leaving money in the account, like any tactics on like, how do I become, maybe they feel like they're close to you. Like, dude, I'm making money, but I don't have the breakout year. Maybe they're not sizing up correctly.
Yeah.
So like, how did you get to that point where some people are going to listen to that and be like, dude, I that's my rent. That's 2 months of my, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. And okay, this is a really good question, because I remember one of my worst days ever, my first year of trading. I remember in my journal specifically, I wrote negative $330. And I remember the journal entry by hand saying, you feel awful. This is such a terrible day. I can't let yourself lose that much money. It's all perspective, all relative, right? As you grow, your sizing will grow. The comfortable, like being comfortable with certain sizing will grow as well. So honestly, what finally has clicked, and I really say this attributed to my breakout year overall, is swinging the bat when the stars align. And when I say that, finally growing some nuts and being like, okay, this is the setup. You've taken this 100 times. You've documented this 100 times. You've journaled this 100 times. The odds of this working are very high. So put some damn money towards it and swing the bat. You've done it enough, because there's been enough times where I've done it. I'm like, ooh, this looks really good. And then I put maybe normal size or whatever it is, or even in the past I would skip it and be like, no, dude, that's your trade.
Right.
So now I started doing that and leveraging, some 0DTE options or some kind of higher, riskier products, but knowing how much I could risk on them and whatnot. So it's crazy. I've had quite a few 20K days trading options with some 0DTEs, but I'm not risking more than $3,000 to $4,000 on those plays.
Right.
So it's percentage wise, they're amazing returns. But again, on those ones that are really, really hitting, it's because I see it and I'm like, yo, Tanner, load the boat. And this happened. I think this actually was the beginning of this month's kind of drawdown. When all the stuff with Greenland happened with Trump, markets pulled back pretty heavy, for a couple days. We had a day where we ripped to the highs, we came back to the lows, but we never broke low a day, and we kind of just oscillated there. And I bought some NDX 0DTE options that day at the bottom. It was consolidating. They were pretty far out of the money. But again, I've done strategies like this before and they've worked. And I was and I was sitting in it and it was taking too long. And I was like, dude, this is just decaying. You're just going to lose money. I ended up selling it for a loss. Literally 30 minutes later, Trump came out with the news. We ripped back to high a day off of, I had $4,000 in this play. I would have made, of course, I wouldn't have held it all the way, but I saw my target where I was originally aiming above high a day. I would have made over $200,000 on one play.
Wow.
And if it went to the highs, if I somehow would have held that, it was 600K.
Oh my God.
And off $4,000. So again, I've learned these products in the option space, and these are rare moves, right?
Sure.
This is something that's it's definitely more risky
driven by Trump
for sure. But it's one of those things where I'm okay, this is potentially a good high risk play that if it pays off, it's going to be really good. But again, you have to know when the stars are aligning. There was a news catalyst that day. We ripped to highs, came all the way back to lows. I'm getting them at a really cheap price. So it's the stars are starting to align. Just timing wise, obviously sometimes can't be in your favor. But that was the start of me kind of going downhill on for February, because I think that created some FOMO where I was like, dude, that would have been insane if I would have hit a play like that.
But then that even speaks to more of as you become more selective, one trade can make you more than all of these trades in your entire career.
Literally. Yeah. And that was actually a takeaway I just got from Traders for a Cause this past weekend is they say more than 80% of your profit, these are the big veteran traders talking, more than 80% of your profit sometimes will come for 10% of your days in the whole year.
Yeah.
And so I started really leaning into that. And again, the whole point of this pod is the breakout year is just leaning into those best setups. And how do you find those? It's just through so many years of journaling.
Well, that's what I was going to say. All this rant here, it's all the listeners really have to understand. It's you said it in the beginning, everything you said is valid, but it's all about knowing the setup. And you only get to know the setup by practice.
Through a ridiculous amount of practice. A ridiculous amount of practice. 6 years of practice, right? It's I've literally been journaling and documenting.
What do they say about 10 years of practice for an overnight success, right? That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
but that's
for sure.
So how much is the success in a breakout year determined by trading strategy versus determined by the trader? A longtime friend of the podcast, TradeZella is offering you, as the listener, 20% off their journaling software. The backtesting is incredible, and they have a ton of new features coming in 2026. So use the code ASFX to save 20% at TradeZella.com. Again, the code is ASFX at TradeZella.com. Hey traders, you've probably heard me mention the Black Shirt Club before. That's our group coaching program. We meet 3 times per week. We actually have a meeting today, and we are looking for some of you to fill empty seats in the mentorship. A couple of people just graduated to finish the year, so we want to make sure the group stays full. Head to asfx.biz/BSC to read more about what the club includes. You can also go to that website and book a free call with me. I'll hop on with you for 10 minutes and I'll answer any questions that you have. This is a $500 a month program. No like crazy fees, no hidden contracts, no cancel anytime. We're very flexible. We're not here to hurt you. We are here to help you make more money and help you get around traders that are trying to better themselves through more discipline and more accountability. So if that sounds like something that interests you, asfx.biz/BSC.
I would say it's a combination of both. And like, this is like where trading psychology is a real thing, right? Everyone loves to talk strategy all the time. You need to know strategy. You need to know something of like, you know, the technical nature to understand where you actually have edge in the market. If you don't have edge, it's nothing. Like, you need edge in the market, but you have to know also your psychology behind like how to hold certain things. Again, those days where I was hitting 20K days on those option plays, those risky ones, 0 DTEs, bro, I'd watch them sometimes rip up 10K, pull back to 0. And then all of a sudden, you know, I wait like 30 minutes later and we're way back up. And then I'm aiming for that 20. That's the thing, is like, you got to understand, like, I'm watching the chart. I'm watching the chart. Pay attention to the chart. And like the product itself, you have to know how it moves too, right? Because some people can't handle that. Used to be me back in the day. I couldn't watch something go up, you know, $1,000 and watch it come back to 0. Now it's like, that's just another day in the office. Yeah, you want a big play, you got to be able to hold it through potential, you know, pullbacks and stuff like that, especially if you're trading 0 DTE options.
So then if you're caught in an options trade like that, are you layering to get bigger in it? Are you layering the futures trade in the same direction on these days? Is that how you can maximize? Because then I'm thinking of this from the listener's perspective, and I follow everything you're saying. But then if I want to, okay, I'll journal my trades, Tanner. I will find my setup. That word edge, will come back to that. But then it's like, now am I combining multiple markets to really amplify this thing? Is that the way you did it?
Really good question. Yeah, actually, some of my biggest P&L, I think last year in general, was on DIA, which is just the Dow, YM. And it'd be days where I had a really good read on YM, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's just double up basically on this in terms of like going over and
go into Robinhood,
adding some options on top of the play, because it's ripping on the futures. I see everything clearly. I know my setup. I know what's going on with it. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just, you know, let's really swing the bat here and just load it up with a different product, right? Because again, like, most of my big days came from actually just trading the indices still, which is still just a lot of my future setups. So yeah, of course, some of them were my options plays, but not as much. It mainly came from, I guess, like having such a good read that day on the market, being like, okay, like you have to load it up here and like use these other products in order to amplify it.
So then, to backtrack for a second, that's a good answer. Edge. I think traders hear the word edge and they get scared in a way because they think it needs to be more complicated than I believe it needs to be. So what's your opinion on edge? Can it be as simple as reading a VWAP? Or does it need to be super complicated with a lot of intricacies and a lot of indicators and a lot of Hikinashi candles or whatever? Like, where is edge? What does that actually mean?
This is such a good question, because I think this is something that a lot of people get confused on in the beginning as well. Because I used to be the same way. Everyone said, where's your edge? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, where is the edge? I'm like, what does that mean? Right? What does that mean? So
edging,
exactly. So it really comes down to like, where do you see something that has made sense, right? Again, that you've documented, you've journaled. And when the setup is forming, a lot of it is the nuances and then walking yourself through what needs to continue to happen to prove that I'm continuously correct in this play. I think that is the biggest key there, because after years and years of experience, when you're walking through price action and you're really used to watching the tape, you're watching the candles, you know what like certain bar by bar should look like, you can walk yourself through these scenarios of going, what is actually continuing a trend and working and doing what it should? Because a lot of this is just you're continuing a trend. Like when I see my edge or see a good setup, it's just like I'm buying in a good spot and I'm looking for the trend to continue, you know, either back to high day or whatever it is. So I'm walking through it bar by bar. So I'm not really the one to be like, set it and forget it and walk away. I'm kind of a psycho and I'm watching it and like, because again, I'm just trying to verify, like, is this doing what I need it to do, right? Because there's times you get really big random pullbacks, but if we're actually holding a good structure on the chart, it's just a pullback. It's just, that's going to happen, right? You want to hold for the big moves, you got to be able to hold through the pullbacks. So walking yourself through it as it's kind of proving itself to you. And then, yeah, maybe finding some places to add average up, I would say. I actually never average down anymore. So some of my really big trades where I was like kind of pressing, it's like, okay, it's still proving me here. This is right. This is correct. Okay, I need to add to this here. I need to add to this
The
here.
Tom Hugard thing.
Exactly. Yeah, honestly, the Tom Hugard thing. But it's like, again, seeing the setup, okay, it should do this here. Or especially if it's like this was a failure to go lower here, now a reclaim. Oh, that's the bottom right there, short term. I'm in, like, this is the get in the driver's seat is like really what I like to call it.
So is the edge for you more technical than psychological based on that answer?
Yeah, I would say more technical because as I walk through it, but again, the psychology of being able to hold stuff as it works.
I feel like you're just saying that's a threshold you have to get to.
Yeah, it's just practice.
You have to have enough practice to just be that guy.
Literally,
you're not just going to be him in year one.
For sure,
right.
for sure.
You're just going to need to grind it out.
It's just a screen time too.
Just a
Because
screen
again,
time.
like as you're verifying, like what should it be doing?
Right.
It's just proving your thesis.
So almost what you're saying is edge matters more to a trader who is journaling all the time. The edge then is more technical. If you're not a trader who's journaling all the time, you may say your edge is more psychological, more yourself.
Yeah, I mean, every trader should be journaling.
But a lot of them don't.
I
A lot
know,
of them
they
think
don't.
that they don't need
That's
to.
really why strong trading coaching exists.
Right,
Because like
literally.
a lot of people don't journal or review, and they just like show up every day and they're like,
Click buttons.
I've had clients that.
But that's the no barrier to entry thing about trading. Like anyone can just fund an account and just start clicking. So like, why?
Exactly.
Nowhere when I put the money in the account or buy the prop account does it say, hey, journal these trades and you'll get better.
Yeah.
Like they never tell you that.
What's the thing? There's no playbook to trading itself. And
No.
like that's why it's so difficult. And like that's why even like when we teach certain setups and like, okay, like when you're journaling, like, name your setup, like you can name it whatever you want,
Right.
bro. It just has to make sense.
You
to
can call it ICT.
And I literally remember learning this. Like Lance had a really good like breakdown at Trader Store Cause a few years ago. He was breaking down the setup and he called it the bouncy ball play. And right then and there, I remember right then and there, I'm like, this shit's what you make up of it.
Right.
Like literally, like,
That's all
but
it
it
is.
makes sense to him. Like,
It's his language.
It's his language, right? And so that's why I like pull back to VWAPs, like one of my setups, right? Like, daily breakout setup, gap and go, like whatever it is. I had a client, she called one of her setups, or two of them, Mario and Luigi. Couldn't tell you why.
Whatever,
it made
bro.
sense to her. I'm
Whatever.
like, cool.
Right.
If it makes sense, cool. And it's making you money, do it.
So with the prop payouts, now let's get away from strategy for a
Yeah.
second. Are you doing it with copy trading? Because I would guess some of the listeners are thinking, is he taking all those payouts from one account, from a live account, from multiple accounts? So talk, if you can, about your experience, your journey through prop trading.
For sure. And this is such a good combo because I feel like a lot of people in the prop space don't talk about the transparency. Number one, behind the expenses behind it too. I'll get into that in a second.
Well, they think you get just, unlimited free accounts.
Or they think you just get one account and that's it. That's the goal. You have one prop account and then, it's treated like a real account.
Right.
The prop game is a different game. Dude.
Different
Like
game.
it is literally, it's about payouts. It's about money in, money out. I truly believe that because it's just like, that's like your expenses, right? It's like if you're taking out a lot of profits, the losses, quote unquote, is just the money that you're putting into it, in my opinion. So it doesn't mean you're going in full porting and just like getting lucky and stuff like that. Again, because like the payouts come from just consistency over time. So I personally like to use a bunch of different props. I like the straight to funded options the most because I'm obviously at that point in my career. Dude, but a majority of my payouts actually were taken during Asia session. A majority of them. I went through the numbers and everything and I was like, dude, I did like over 100K trading Asia.
Really?
Basically, yes. And that's because I'm just going for base hits. I'm using the straight to funded accounts with the consistency rule. I'm never going for home runs, but I'm just rinse and repeat over and over and over. And I am copy trading multiple accounts.
Interesting. So I wonder why Asia outperformed for you compared to New York. Is it because you're giving back gains in New York on bad days and then the good days don't look as good versus, or you, like you're saying, base hits? So what, you're going for less of a move?
So it's crazy.
You do be going for those moves, and then like you get instead of closing it when it's near your take profit, you're like, no, it has to hit my exact tick. It drives me insane.
I have literally, I almost call it like two different businesses basically for trading New York versus Asia.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde,
literally
Mario, Luigi.
So like literally in the beginning of this year, I went through all my data and stuff and I looked at everything and I was like, dude, I did like, basically 100K just from Asia payouts. Like this is crazy, right? And so I was like, okay, I clearly need to make a business plan for trading New York and a business plan for trading Asia. Because the way I trade Asia is since it's such low liquidity, most of the times I'm looking for like an intraday sweep of the low and then instantly just playing that bounce back up for a few points. Like literally not a lot, but I am leveraging contracts with it.
Sure.
So I'm using 5 full minis on it or something like on NQ.
But it's moving less.
But it's moving less.
So it makes sense to be bigger.
But yes, but you catch 15 points or something with 5 contracts, right? You're making $1,000 or $1,500 or something. Boom, I hit that, move on with the day.
Right.
Hit that, move on with the day.
Right.
And setting a super strict daily loss limit. Like that's the thing too, because like obviously that's what kills accounts, right?
Sure.
Is like if you go on tilt, go on spiral, whatever it is. So I just started setting that a lot. So a lot of times with the straight to funded stuff, I would target 2K on the day. Max loss would also be 2K in the beginning. It'd be 1-to-1. But then as kind of time went on, I would make it where I'm looking to make like 1,500 on the day, and then like 1K is my max loss on the day. So it's starting to like kind of like make that gap a little bit bigger, so you can kind of grow the account more and take a bunch of payouts over and over and over and over. And then I'm copy trading 5 accounts doing that, right? So every time I'm taking a payout, it's like 15K, 15K, 15K. So those are all adding up. And I just learned, for me specifically going through stuff, I'm like, this is my plan for trading Asia. Okay. It's not the same trading New York. It's just like that's
separate account.
Separate accounts, yes. Also fully separate as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so then for the listener, they're thinking, okay, Tanner, that sounds good. Trade separate accounts, separate sessions. I get that. With New York session specifically, do you have any like tips for the traders who are break even or can't get consistent payouts out of just trading one session? What would you recommend they do? Copy trade more, size up more? Because I think a lot of the listeners are either looking for the first payout or they took one and it's been months. So then for that prop trader, what would be the best advice you can give to them?
I would say like the payout isn't like this end all be all, because once you get the payout, it's like, what's next? More payouts. That's the goal, right? But a lot of people treat it as like this like golden like,
and now I've made
hierarchy. That's it. I've made it. You know, I'm profitable, right? It's like, no, it's like not exactly it. So if you're struggling in between periods, a lot of it is just structure behind the risk of the firm, meaning like, what are the rules? What kind of accounts are you trading? And how do you need to structure the risk? I really think that is the key.
So you think people are almost in the wrong vehicle?
100%. I just think people
are trading it incorrectly.
They're just trading it like obviously with, oh, whatever, I can just, blow this or do that. And eventually the account does get to a point where I do think it is just better just to get a brand new account. Like if it gets that low, if the drawdown's that bad,
torch it.
But you should have a goal to trade it with a strict max loss limit and trade it like that over and over. And a lot of people don't do that.
No.
Because they get really close, like, okay, well, this or that, they make, the reasons. The reason I took so many payouts in general is because I was using a lot of those parameters, right? So I love like the lockout feature or anything like that.
The structure.
Like, the structure behind it, because you need structure. And even like the veteran traders, I don't even trade props or anything. They all say like, you need a max loss limit on the day. It doesn't matter if you think you are better than that. You aren't better than it, because you have one day where you screw up or something happens, some crazy thing happens in the market, and you don't have something that's hard coded in the broker to stop you. You're screwed.
You're not going to stop yourself.
You're not going to stop yourself. It doesn't matter. Once your brain goes into fight or flight, it is almost nearly impossible. And this is another thing I really think about a lot, and actually we tell our traders is like, some people come to us, I want to stop, like, I'm just so bad at like not stopping here or this or that. And I'm like, okay, well, you know that about yourself. Set the max loss limit. And they're like, well, how do I just fix this habit? And I'm like, over time, we can work on it. But if you know this is your demon, it's like, for now, put up the bumpers on the bowling alley.
And let that stop you.
Let that stop you. Let that save you. It's like, why? Like, well, I don't know. Like, and people get into like an ego thing with it. And I'm like, dude, you can't like get into an ego thing with the market. You're trying to fight the market basically. And again, once your brain goes into that mode, it's almost impossible to get out of it.
Yeah, it's such an interesting point about how much ego people apply into trading. Whether it's you holding a trade for that exact TP on the tick, that's ego. Whether it's the trader thinking, I'm in drawdown on a prop account, I got to dig it out. No, you don't. No, you don't. So you have to really be checking yourself. I think, there's a couple of people that make more trading psychology content than strategy. And they talk about like knowing yourself and how if you know yourself better, you will all of a sudden unlock more profits. I don't believe that. It's both. You have to have like what you're saying, the journaling and the chart experience while figuring yourself out, finding your demons and confronting them. But I think there's not enough humility to just be like, yes, I am a normal human. I will probably get mad when I lose, especially if I lose thousands of dollars, and I may keep trading and try to make it back. Let's just prevent that, because I know if I come back the next day without doing that, I can make it back. I've proven that to myself. So for the traders then who are, I would say, closer to profitability, they've started to master these things, that word profitability. They're maybe in their attempt of 2026 being a breakout year. What advice would you say? Like if you go back to then the beginning of 2025, your breakout year, what advice would you wish someone would have said to you?
I'd say the beginning of that year, God, it's just like it all comes together when you just start, again, just really being super focused on I guess the data is the good word, like the nerdy word behind it, but it's just the setups, like in knowing. I just go back to the word edge, and again, like I hate to just throw that term around because everyone's like,
Well,
I know it's confusing. I explained it pretty well, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like that for me at the beginning of last year. I didn't have expectations. Okay, I think this is better. I didn't have expectations for the year. It was more just like, okay, this is working. Cool. Keep doing this. Okay. Refine this. Oh, you screwed up here. Okay. Let's get back to the drawing board a little bit here. Okay. This is working. Okay. This is working. Okay. This is working. And so it's just showing up each day, not having expectations, knowing your setup, knowing your edge. And again, it's like the more you practice a skill, I believe this with anything, the more you practice a skill and you put deliberate effort towards it, I think it's almost impossible not to get good at the skill. And so that's how I look at trading, right? It's like, and yeah, there's people that can go, years and years and years without actually making money or doing anything. But then again, that's why I go into, okay, well, what are your habits? Are you journaling? Are you reviewing? Are you doing stuff that you're actively trying to get better? And then most of those people that are that deep into the career and haven't made money or aren't breaking out yet, it's because they're not doing any of that at all. And it's like, okay, well, you can't just do the same thing. It's a definition of insanity.
And
expect a different result. You can't do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. So do the same thing in terms of like building the edge and expect the good result, right? It's like, so to me, that's what makes sense. And it's just like, keep showing up, keep putting in the journal work. Things eventually will click. I think it's impossible for it not to click with enough. And again, this is 6 years. And I keep bringing up Traders for a Cause. It was obviously just there, but yeah, Lance had his presentation this year was all about longevity in the career. And his whole thing was like, be a dinosaur in this field. And basically talked about as your years progress and you get tailwind, you exponentially start making more money just because of like the sheer amount of knowledge, experience, screen time, and understanding of setups that keep presenting themselves over and over are there for you. And you start making that's how you have leaps, like quantum leaps in breakouts of profitability, right? There's no reason I couldn't go from making 80K in 1 year to nearly, $250,000